Hello everyone, Jamie Arut here from Training for Survival, T4Survival.com. Today we're going to discuss pros and cons between a handgun versus a shotgun for home defense. So my first question to you is if you have a handgun and you have your pistol permit or you're in a constitutional carry state, how often do you train with your handgun? Do you know how it fully operates? How quickly can you draw from a holstered position? How quickly can you get that gun online and ready to fire? And how good are you with threat identification and working underneath stress? So make sure you're training with your handgun, number one. And if you are, make sure that you're not just going out to a range and shooting at a paper target. You need to have some stress inoculation. So you need to find yourself a qualified instructor or contact us and we'll steer you in the right direction or invite you to come out and train with us at one of our training events. So with a handgun, you want to make sure that you can access that weapon. So my first question would be is where are you storing the handgun inside of your home and why did you choose that location? Most likely you're storing it in a safe, right? And if you are storing it in a safe, my question to you is how quickly can you access that safe? And a lot of people say, oh, I can get there pretty quickly, but how can you access that safe and how quickly will you be able to access that safe underneath a stressful situation? An example would be in a home defense situation where someone is kicking in your front door. If they are kicking in your front door, they most likely know the general layout of your home. Now, how would they figure that out? They could have surveyed your home beforehand. If you live in a neighborhood where a lot of the houses are the same, it's pretty simple to go on to a website from when those homes were purchased and kind of see the layout of their home. And a lot of times in those neighborhoods, the homes will have kind of the same type of layout. If they kick in that front door, how quickly can they get to you? Seconds, right? So being able to access your firearm is going to be extremely, extremely important. The best place for you to carry your firearm is on you. And having it on you, whether you are mowing the lawn, doing landscaping outside, washing the floors in the house, vacuuming, making the bed, doing the laundry, you're going to know you can instantly access that weapon at any time. And if you have other family members in the house that you are concerned about getting their hands on that weapon, you no longer need to worry about that because the weapon is on you. So I encourage you to carry your weapon on you at all times and make sure you have the proper training. So let's talk a little bit about shotgun now. So with a shotgun, there's pros to that as well, but you're not going to be able to carry it with you at all times. And here are some of the pros. If you're not good at being able to get a handgun on target underneath stress and being able to make that shot, it's going to be important for you to be able to have something available, such as a shotgun, that might be able to give you a little bit more accuracy in the long run underneath stress. So with a shotgun, you're going to have this shotgun shell right here as an example, which carries 00 buck type of ammunition. Now, if you look inside of here, you're going to see all these little pellets. Imagine those as 9mm rounds being shot at the person at one time, okay? Now, with that, on a shotgun, there's going to be a spray. And what I mean by that is depending on the distance of where you are from what you are shooting at, the rounds, once they leave that muzzle, are going to start to spread out. And the further that distance is, the more they're going to spread. Now, different ammunition, Federal, Remington, and so forth, will have a different spread. So it's important that if you're going to use a shotgun for home defense, that you go to the range and that you measure out the distance inside of your home and where you might be using the shotgun. So if you're using it from your bedroom to the end of the hallway, measure what that distance is. Go to a range, set up a target area at that distance with even a paper target or wooden sheetrock target, and then being able to take that shot to see what the spray is going to look like. You want to be able to know what the penetration is going to be for those rounds. So you have the option of bird rounds, which are going to be smaller than what I just showed you. You have 00 buck, which is what I just showed you, and you have an option for various other types of shotgun rounds as well. I recommend 00 buck because 9mm rounds, once they hit that target, is going to neutralize that threat. So here's the other thing to keep in mind. With the sound of the rack of that shotgun, if someone is coming inside of your door or they're already made it inside of your home and you're inside of your bedroom and you rack that shotgun, it's kind of the universal sound for you better back up or the next thing you're going to hear is going to be the pull of the trigger, right? The other thing is someone that maybe hasn't had a lot of firearm training, maybe a teenager inside of your home, your wife or your husband that maybe hasn't done much training, an older individual that might be inside your home would be able to access this shotgun and being able to get on target a little bit easier. And what I highly recommend is that you train them to go inside of whatever room they're going to ingress to get safe, right? We'll call it a safe room. And inside that room, you want to get them down on the ground in a corner, and you want to have that backstock of the shotgun up against a hard surface. And I usually pick a corner of a wall, so in a corner of a room. Aim it diagonally upward toward the doorway where someone might enter inside of that room. So now if they have to pull that trigger and use that shotgun, the blow of that shotgun is going to go into the buttstock and go into the wall. They're not going to feel it on their body. So they're going to have a little bit more better accuracy of where that shot's going to go. The other thing that they are going to be able to do is easily rack that round back in because of all the energy going into the wall and not into them, and being able to get on their second shot. Most likely they won't need to rack if they do have to pull the trigger and get a second shot off, because if you're using double O buck and you've got the distance of that spray because you've practiced and you know how wide that spread is going to be, most likely anything that enters that door is going to be neutralized once they come inside that doorway. So it's a great option. The thing you have to be aware of, though, is the penetration of those double O buck rounds and what is on the opposite side of that target that you're shooting at. Meaning, if you are in a ranch style house, you're in a bedroom, and you shoot diagonally upwards into that doorway, most likely the next rounds are going to go up into a crawl space or into an attic space. So you're not worried about anyone getting hit with those rounds. Whereas if a bedroom's on a lower floor, maybe you're in a colonial or a Cape style home, and on the top floor of the bedrooms, and you're taking that shot diagonally, what's on the opposite side of where you're shooting? Are there family members? Are there people that might be hiding in their own rooms? So you need to be aware of that as you're figuring out where you're going to go and where that shot's going to happen from. The other thing to keep in mind is that you want to know that the rounds that you have in there are consistent. So if you go to the range and you practice with a federal type of shotgun round, double O buck, you know what that spread's going to be, and it's going to stay kind of consistent. But if you mix up a different type of brand, a Remington or another brand, and you're making that shot, that spread might be really different. I've seen as much as 6 to 8 inches difference in spread for the same distance with a different round of manufacturer's ammo. So make sure you're testing what you're going to be carrying inside that shotgun at all times, and making sure that spray is consistent when you need to use it for home defense. The other thing, let's go back to handguns. So with handguns, we'll talk about the different types of rounds. We have this round right here, right? So this is a hollow point round, right? And this is a ball round. Same ammunition, but you could see this round right here, ball round, hollow point. So with a hollow point, when it enters into the body cavity, it's going to mushroom out, and the hollow point is made to cause a lot of damage on the interior of the body, but not necessarily penetrate to the outside. That mushroom is supposed to slow that round down and stop inside the body cavity. There could sometimes be a little bit more penetration to the outside, but it's not going to keep traveling and traveling. Whereas with a ball round, these are the rounds that you would use at the range for training only. These rounds are going to travel. They're going to stay small like a ball, like the tip of what you see right here, and they're going to hit that body cavity and continue to travel through. They might go into another bedroom, through that wall, through another bedroom, into another wall, maybe even outside your outside wall of your house, and travel toward your neighbor's house as well. So knowing the type of ammunition that you have and making sure you're selecting the proper ammunition is extremely important. Making sure you have a hollow point type of ammunition or home defense type of ammunition, and there's many different varieties out there, is going to be extremely important. And training with a few of these rounds are important as well. So you could feel the difference on the blowback when you're practicing with these rounds, and you can also practice and seeing what the penetration is like on a target at the range is another important factor as well. So make sure you're training with these rounds, ball rounds, in a full training environment to do threat identification, work a little bit under stress inoculation, and being able to get on target. And then you want to take these hollow points or defensive rounds that you purchase and get some training with these as well on the range. You don't have to do a lot, but maybe shooting a mag or two would get you acclimated with the type of round that's in there, seeing the penetration, see what the feel is like, and how it might be different from a ball round when it comes out as a projectile. If you have questions on any of this, please put them in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, we're comparing shotgun versus handgun. Both have their pros, both have their cons. Making sure that you are training with both of them if you decide that you're going to have them both inside the home for home defense. Again, if you have questions, put them in the comments below. You can also go to our website, t4survival.com, and start a chat anytime and speak with myself or any one of my instructors. We'd love to hear from you and talk a little bit more about some training options. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I hope you enjoyed today. today's segment. Remember, T for Survival, training for surviving the fight of your life. We'll see you soon.